How's everyone doing today? Oh, it's a beautiful Sunday, fun day. Well, I'm here to talk to you all a little bit about STEM and what it is. For many people, actually, when I was coming into this parking lot today, and the gentleman asked, "Who are you and what is STEM?" Because I was telling him that I was here for this wonderful TEDx talk. And I explained to him it's science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And when you think about a stem of a plant, it is the foundation for that plant's growth. It is critical to its success. And when I shared with that gentleman overall, he was like, I'm very interested to hear more about what STEM is, and I hope that all of you are today. So STEM is essentially the foundation of our economy. But sadly, it is on the decline in many of our educational institutions. It's expensive, it's very apprehensive and intimidating for a lot of young folks, especially women and minorities. But at the end of the day, it is critical to everything that we do in our everyday lives. Here we are in this beautiful auditorium. Many of you all have your smartphones. There's video happening. There's computers here. None of that could exist without STEM in our everyday lives. And if you look onwards to STEM, it's even in our medical lives, where we're in our healthcare, where we're finding and advancing cures to cancers and our vaccinations to help fight COVID and other diseases. It is essential to each and every one of us out there in our everyday lives. So what do you need as a student to be in STEM? What are the magic ingredients to make that STEM grow? Let's talk a little bit about each and every one of those. So first, it's complex problem-solving skills. Now, no one's going to give you the answer to the question. You, as the students of tomorrow and today, are the ones that are expected to find those answers. And you're going to explore that through a whole method of complex solving types of skills, which also leads to critical thinking skills out there. So you've got to really think through the analytics of the whole situation, what the beginning of it is, the middle, and what the end needs to be. And sometimes during that journey, you're not sure where to go because there's going to be a lot of different pathways and a lot of curves as you go down and discover the answer, whether it be the cure to cancer, the next iPhone, the next Bluetooth. You also, because of the aspect of critical thinking, analytical thinking out there, you need to be curious. That's probably the most important part of the entire equation. Not to be afraid, apprehensive. The answer may not be there in the very first iteration. It might not be there in the second iteration. But all of a sudden you go down this nook and cranny, maybe a rabbit hole, and you might find the next answer to your problem or the next solution to a technology revolution. Communication skills. Now, my profession, I own a marketing and events company in the cybersecurity industry. So I'm not a technologist like each and every one of you. I've never built a robot. And I think that's pretty impressive that you have. But what I have done is explained how cybersecurity is essential to our critical infrastructure, to our everyday lives, to each and every one of our businesses. Those strong communication skills created a value proposition for many of the clients and the security executives that I work with on a daily basis. 20 years ago, plus, I'm not going to date myself too much, we had an idea to celebrate security executives and their project teams. And the reality is, nobody understood what a security executive was. They thought a security executive was someone that made their computer go slower, or someone that told them no, or they were the creepy guy in the back room. that just said, hey, you can't do that with your computer because it's going to cause a problem. Fast forward to present day, been able to create an industry that celebrates cybersecurity professionals. In doing so, because I had strong communication skills. So the world becomes your oyster when you can actually communicate those ideas, the value proposition of what you're doing, and most importantly, sell your concepts, your prototypes, and ultimately your product. We also need to be adaptable. The life is changing around us on a daily basis, constantly. How many of you would have ever thought we would have been locked down for a couple of years because of a virus? Nobody ever thought that, right? You would have thought that was kind of crazy talk. But fast forward, we had to learn how to adapt, literally in 24 to 48 hours. People that went to their offices every single day to do their work now had to work from home from anywhere. Our infrastructures, our VPNs, our networks were not set up to completely work from home. Our pretenses and our security tools were not there either. But in a blink of an eye, because we had to work together, because we needed each other, all of us immediately became adaptive to the situation. Business continued. And if you think about video communications, like a product like Zoom or Microsoft Teams, the thought of getting on a Zoom call or a video type of call and talking to your family, friends, and coworkers was a daunting affair. I know because I sat on my deck outside looking at my MacBook Pro for the first time and opened up my first Zoom account in April of 2020. It scared the bejesus out of me. I had no idea what to expect when I typed in my name and address and credit card information, which I've done 1,000,001 times to buy clothes and services, book a plane ticket. But it was so daunting to me that day. And the fact of the matter is, as I typed in that information, all of a sudden the screen appeared and my face was on the camera. Oh my God, I look pretty bad because I haven't had a haircut in weeks. But the reality was I was adaptive. I adapted to make a difference. And I'll tell you something else about good adaptation skills. My company was an in-person marketing events company where we hosted events like this, sitting in a big conference room or meeting room or private dinners. And overnight, I had to learn how to master a digital platform and continue to connect with my community out there and sell sponsorships and create new formats of webinars and cocktails and conversations and tech talks and all sorts of ways to stay in business. We did that because my team, myself, were very adaptive. Teamwork. No one can do anything without each other. I know I can't. You might be the greatest CEO of all time, but if you don't have the best team working with you, sharing your vision, and empowering you to lead from the front, it doesn't work. Teamwork is essential. I don't know anybody that works really in a vacuum, especially in the STEM and technology industries. Somebody has to build the code. Somebody has to create the product specs. Someone has to do the software security assurance testing to make sure that the code is there. Someone has to launch it. Someone has to sell it. Someone has to market it. And then when it does get bought by a company or a person, there's a procurement process. And that's a whole nother set of people, from legal, financial, accounting. It's a team that makes it all work and come together. So whatever type of role that you take on in the technology, engineering, mathematics, science world, it's going to be a basis of the fact that you're going to work as a team. Responsibility. So when you say something and you make a commitment, you need to make sure you follow through. Do not take something on that you don't think you can handle. And it's okay to say no or how to work through that. But the fact of the matter is, your credibility with your team, your company, your family, your colleagues, your friends, is all based upon being responsible and being a person of your word. There's nothing more discouraging when someone lets you down. So make sure when you say, yes, I can help, ask for a couple of things along the way. What's your deadline? What's your expectation of my role? How else can I add value to the situation? And then take a look at your entire other things going on that are on your plate and say, okay, I think I can help in this way, meeting this deadline, or I might need a little extra time. But having that, going back to the good communication skills and taking responsibility for what it is that you're committing to is essential. Your team's going to depend upon it, and how everything works together will be the magic of your success. So, why is STEM so important into our society? Well, as I mentioned earlier, it is a part of our everyday lives. Can you imagine now, without having your iPhone or Google phone? I kind of laugh. I still have it on my desk. Is my clock radio phone, or my clock radio that I used in high school and college. It's sort of a reminder that technology has really come very far. Now, on that clock radio, I really don't think I can get a radio reception anymore. And the fact of the matter is, I have to make sure the time is set digitally, not automatically through some satellite dish way up in space. But it's grounding to know that's where we were at when I was your age and how we told time. I will say something else, thinking about weather. I had to call a phone number to see or watch TV with an endless scroll to see if school was delayed because of a snowstorm. And unfortunately, living in Massachusetts, you went to school and you didn't have a 2-hour delay. But now where I grew up, those kids get to have no school when it's cold outside, just like here in Georgia. But in all seriousness, the fact of the matter is technology affects everything that we do. When we drive our cars, when we go eat at a restaurant and pull up a QR code for a menu, when we are applying to go to school, when we book a plane ticket to get there, if we're going out of state, even when we're looking to find out how to get somewhere using Waze or Google Maps. It influences every aspect of our lives and everything that we do on a day-to-day basis. And you, all here today, are our future. We need each and every one of you and you've heard the call, but I want to encourage you not to give up, okay? This is the crossroads of opportunity. Some great things I'd like to share with you. STEM careers pay more, so much that they're almost $87,000 on average getting out of school. When I got out of school, those careers didn't really exist, and they were probably a third of that. I get that there's inflation and the cost of living is a lot higher, but to get out of school with a bachelor's degree and make almost $90,000 is pretty amazing. And then you can go on and get a master's or a PhD and make even more. The aspects of growth in our industry around STEM will outpace those non-STEM careers. Specifically, by 2028, it is expected that STEM careers will pay 8.8% more on average than a non-STEM career by 5%. So as we're going up and you're getting raises, you're going to accelerate and beat the timeline. And if you go down a path of somewhere like in healthcare, those are going to even outpace that rate of growth. There's so many opportunities out there. And I admire and I envy to some degree each and every one of you, because the world is your oyster. It's a moment to seize that grass ring. And I'm encouraged by the fact that all of you are here today with me, that you will do that and be our future. Thank you very much.